It's not every day that you see an 18-year-old athlete really throw down and take down a world-class field of senior division athletes. However, that is exactly what we saw from Emmanuel Wanyonyi from Kenya. In this year's Kipkeino Classic, this junior athlete ran one of the fastest 800-meter times that we have seen in recent memory, and this time also clearly places him as the fastest in the world this year. Now for this 800, Wanyonyi was biding his time over the first lap, and as many people do down the final stretch, he exploded with a very solid finishing kick, and he finished with a time of 1 minute 43.32 seconds, which already lands him in the top 10 all-time in the junior division. However, there's a pretty key point of this race that I wanted to touch on, and that's the fact that Nairobi, Kenya is very high in elevation, at least in comparison to many other cities where athletes run big times. So if you're wondering, Nairobi, Kenya stands at 1,790 meters, give or take a few meters across the city. And for all of you United States people out there, that's 5,889 feet. This is very high up in the sky. In fact, this is more than 1 mile up in the air. And as many of you are probably familiar with, when it comes to competing at high elevations like this, distance running events suffer significantly, and juxtaposed to this rather slower performances from distance runners, it actually helps sprinters run slightly faster. So when it comes to distance events, typically the longer that you run, the slower that you're supposed to run, because at high altitudes, there's just less oxygen in the air. However, this golden rule still does apply to the 800 meters. And if we do a basic altitude conversion, Emmanuel Wanyonyi's time converts to right around 1 minute 41.41 seconds, which would actually be a new world junior record. Now, there's a few other altitude conversion systems that place him right around 1 minute and 42 seconds. However, with this kind of effort, a sub 142 just sounds more historic, so we're going to focus more on that because this would actually take down Nigel Amos's current world junior record that he set in the 2012 Olympics at 1 minute 41.73. Now again, Wanyonyi is only 18 years of age, which is pretty crazy considering that junior athletes typically never get anywhere near 142, let alone 141. So this single performance from Emmanuel Wanyonyi is really one of the greatest junior efforts that we have ever seen. And moving into this year's World Championships, it's difficult to deny this man his placement as a potential podium winner. And given he's already done very well in his career and he's still only 18, he could be on his way to becoming an 800-meter specialist, especially if he can run this well at altitude. This year's Kipkeino Classic was pretty wild, but this performance from Wanyonyi was clearly one of the fastest and one of the most impressive of anyone in the field. So with all this in mind, I now want to hear from all of you. How fast do you think Emmanuel Wanyonyi will run in 2023, and do you think he has a chance to win this year's World Championships? Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.